some great news that came out today. Victor Wembanyama has been cleared to play after
Oh,
having deep vein, right shoulder tur- thrombosis. Correct me if I'm saying that wrong. Limited him to just 46 games last season, so he had a blood clot in his shoulder that really affected his livelihood. A lot of people thought that he wasn't even going to come back to play anymore, that he was going to retire. Obviously, that was just speculation in the beginning when people were just started finding out about it. Going back to what Chris Bosh did with the Miami Heat, he had to retire because he had blood clots in his legs. Completely different than your shoulder, but still, it's still something that you really need to watch for. So, um, Victor Wembanyama is cleared to play, and he will be back soon. Hopefully, he'll start a training camp. But with that being said, with that news today dropping for Wemby, well, what are your thoughts?
I love it. Not just on a personal level for him, but for the Spurs overall. I'm excited about the Spurs in general. I like their young talent. I'm not saying that they're just gonna make this magical run to the finals or anything like that, but they have certain elements that the Pacers did have. Where you have your main leader in Wemby, but then you have De'Aaron Fox that kind of helps out. He's like your Miles Turner, opposite positions, but still, and just enough core guys like Castle and young players to maybe just do enough to get you upset. Maybe I don't know who they get in the first round, especially if they're sneaking in. I'm not thinking they're going to beat Denver or somebody like that or OKC, but just if they can make the playoffs this year, even if it's going through the play in and then getting in, that'll be great because I think that's a team that isn't far away from making some real noise. You look at the Raptors before Kawhi; that was a team that had a little bit of everything. That's the team I always compare to the Bucks before getting the Tampa Bay Bucks before getting Brady, where it's like all they need is that one thing. And if you really look at it, suddenly that roster has a different perspective. The Raptors were that, and I think the Spurs are getting close to being that too. I'm not saying that they're going to magically make cap space and add another star or anything like that. I just think this year, if he's healthy and they're good to go, a full year with the Fox deal and all that, who knows? I think they can slowly get into the West and be a competitive team that falls in that 6, 7 spot, but attempts a knockout of an upset. And I just want to see it because I like Wemby. He's one of my more liked players.
Yeah, man. I mean, I love it, bro. I mean, like any athlete's career that ends with some sort of injury, and an injury like this, that is something that you think about and you're like, man, what you just start thinking about the human life. Will he ever be able to even lift his arm again? Will he be able to do normal things around the house, or future when he has kids, or with his family members, his friends? Like, will he be able to do normal stuff? And then obviously you think about the professional sport that he plays. Is he going to be able to play again? Is he going to be able to practice again? How is he going to feel when he runs? How is he going to feel when he shoots? When he blocks shots? All this stuff goes crazy in your mind for a player when it comes to something like this, and it's just it's awesome to see that he was cleared. That's God watching over him. That it's like, man, like we want you out there on the floor. You're meant to do this because honestly, just like really thinking about it, I think Wemby can go down as one of the greatest to ever play the game. He has amazing defense. He has a sick shot. No one can cover him when he's under the rim. I think he's dunking on most likely anybody in NBA history. He has a nice little crossover, a nice little handles for his size. He's not a guard, obviously. He's not 6'2", and he's out here super fast and crossing people over and stuff. But for his size, he has a nice little crossover. He nice little handles. I think he has the complete package when it comes to being a basketball player. So the fact that he got cleared and he's able to play again and he's able to continue to pursue his career and continue to show his greatness and continue to progress, I think is amazing to see, man. And just the fact that he's not gonna have these health issues. Obviously, you're not gonna know what's gonna happen in the future. But for right now, he's cleared and he doesn't have any health issues. That's great to see for sure.
Yeah, I love it. I'm excited to see what he does because, like you said, he could be a generational talent, and
Hmm.
he's already shown enough to make you go, okay, well, yeah, not just off the height, but on the court. We've seen enough there, and I'm kind of glad he doesn't have too much of a game. I don't want him. A lot of star players will tell you, you develop your 2 or 3 go-to moves, and you work from there.
Yep.
He's starting to show that, and I like him. I love the game, so I want to see it.
Yeah. Yeah. And just thinking about it now, because I've seen several posts throughout X, throughout TikTok, throughout IG, and it's like, who would you rather choose? And this is gonna go on to the list of the NBA top 100 next. But who would you rather choose to start a franchise? Wemby, Braun, or MJ? And when you think about it, it's like,
LeBron.
yeah, and I'm not gonna say it's an easy answer, but when you think about it, I feel like you gotta put a lot of thought into it because Wemby can be that player that you choose with all the stuff that he can do. So it's like,
Yeah, because of the balance, right? Because now,
yep,
if the typical lineup would have been Jordan because he's kind of like your guard play, LeBron because he's kind of in the middle of the pack, he do a little bit of everything, and then a big, maybe like Shaq. That's usually your typical third. But
mhm,
like you said, yeah, Shaq kind of would be another person. Like if you were taking out Wemby, where you just go, well, I'll take the dominance of in the paint Shaq. But
yeah,
regardless of what again, guard play. But now, yeah, Wemby, like you said, he can shoot the three. In today's game, that's a big deal. He can go into the basket. He plays great defense. He's active. He says the right things. He's willing to do whatever. He's not a problem off the court. I'm not saying that LeBron and Jordan are, but you know what I mean. Like, obviously, I'm still going to go in that general order of Jordan, LeBron, Wemby, but talent wise and how that fits today's game and what we haven't even seen yet, how he could develop and he's super young, there's no way that we can't say that 10 years from now this could be a different thing. Remember Jokic coming in, nobody would have put Jokic in this conversation, but now if I said,
mhm,
well, Jokic, like, okay, well, this guy could have easily won like 5 MVPs in a row. you know what if he continues this streak for another 3 or 4 years? What do you think of Jokic then? Imagine what
yeah,
Wemby could do for 20 more years. you know
exactly, yep.